Welcome. This module is called Manage Information. What does the principle Manage Information suggest to you when thinking about a negotiation strategy? Typical responses focus on information that you have and how to use it, but normally leave out the notion of what information the customer has and how to get it. Effective negotiators see information as critical. There are primarily two categories of information that help with your negotiation: information that you give to your customer and information you get from your customer. Why do so many people focus on the first half of the principle right, but forget the second half? It's often because you have more confidence in your own information. It feels safe to share. You may believe that good negotiating is about proving to the customer that you're right. Great negotiators take a different approach. The best negotiators plan the way they uncover, protect, and leverage information rather than do it spontaneously. Managing information skillfully means using your information well, not saying too much, telling only what's relevant, withholding information that puts you at a disadvantage, as long as it's not unethical or illegal to do so, providing information in the proper sequence, gathering as much information as possible, asking the right questions, and listening. Information is a three-legged stool. You need all three legs to stand up. There's information about your customer's situation that you need to uncover. There's information that you want to protect because it would hurt your negotiation efforts to share it. And there's information that you have that you want to leverage because it's to your advantage to do so. Tap next to discover how to manage information to your advantage. The information a skilled negotiator will uncover goes beyond what an average salesperson will normally get. Think of a current opportunity. Check each of the questions that you can answer. Who is the competition? What's the competition's solution? What is the competition's pricing and terms? How does the customer view your solution versus the competitor? If the competitor is cheaper, why haven't they already accepted the competitor's offer? If there's no competition in the deal, what will a customer do if they don't move forward with you? It seems if you did not have all of the answers, which of the following fits your situation? These seem like valid reasons for why you didn't get the information you need, but skilled negotiators understand that this information is critical, and they use specific techniques to make sure they uncover this information. An expert negotiator doesn't want to compete against an offer they don't understand. If you knew the answer to those questions, would it shape how you negotiated the deal? Of course it would. If the customer would not share the information, consider how many times or ways you asked. Was it just once? Was it just one person? Or did you try a variety of angles? You might be thinking, why bother? Even if they answer these questions, they're not going to do it honestly. People don't always lie. In fact, they frequently tell the absolute truth. Studies show that when negotiators believe they will have future interactions with a salesperson, they are much more likely to communicate truthfully. When there is a future, reputation matters. Sometimes you'll wonder if a customer is being honest with you. In those situations, you can still get to the truth by triangulating the information. You triangulate by asking 3 or 4 questions about their answers. If the answer is factual, all of the answers will line up. If the answer is false or misleading, your customer will have trouble getting all their answers to agree. Imagine you have a prospect that tells you that your competition has come in at a lower price than you. But, as a courtesy to you, they'll let you try one more time to come in with a lower winning bid. What should you do in that situation? Is this customer being honest with you? Or are they just trying to leverage you to get a lower price? Here are some questions you could ask to determine if your customer is being honest with you. This insight will guide you in your negotiation. How much is the other offer? Can you give me a range? Is it between 100,000 and 200,000? Is it less than 150,000? How much lower than the other offer do I need to be? Why didn't you take the other offer? At first, these questions may feel uncomfortable for you, and they might bring some tension to the conversation. But this is extremely valuable information for you to have as a negotiator. You need to embrace this tension so you can put yourself in a position to win. Just as you need to consciously plan what information you need to uncover, you also need to plan what information you need to protect. There is certain information your customer would like to know about you and your offer that you may be hesitant to provide. Things like, how much price flexibility do you have? How much does it cost you to create your product or service? What internal pressures and deadlines you're experiencing? What price does your best customer get? What free extras can you throw into the deal? To be clear, never lie when trying to protect information. The reasons for that should be obvious. What you're going to learn now is how to manage information skillfully without ever needing to lie, mislead, or deceive. There's certain information that's important for you to protect, and if you give it away, your customer will use that information to claim more of the value in the transaction, no matter how much value you create for them. For example, imagine you were in the business of selling cars. It used to be that your customer didn't know how much you, as the dealer, paid to the car manufacturer to get that vehicle on your lot. The only information your customer had was the sticker price on the vehicle. If you were selling cars back then, you asked questions to uncover information about the potential buyer, like, how much do you like your current car? What other dealers have you visited? How soon do you want to purchase and take possession? What other cars are you considering? As the dealer with this information, you could craft an offer that secured a lot of profit and margin. Things have changed over the years, though. Now it's possible for a car buyer to know exactly how much the dealer bought the car for, as opposed to just the sticker price. How do buyers use that information? They use it to extract as much of a discount as possible out of dealerships. In fact, the average profit margin on new car sales is only 1 to 2% today. You face a similar challenge. If you give away information to your customer that will give your customer an advantage in the negotiation, you'll be forced into giving away a lot of value to get to a final agreement. Great negotiators don't put themselves in a position where they have to answer those questions spontaneously. They know if they do that, they will likely give away information they should have protected. Great negotiators prepare for the tough questions ahead of time, so they have great answers when they need them. How do you protect your sensitive information without lying? There are several different techniques you can use. Use the technique that best fits you and the situation. But remember that what's most important is to anticipate difficult questions and plan your responses in advance. The first technique is the stiff arm. The stiff arm pushes away the customer information request. The more confidently you execute this technique, the less likely they will ask you a second time. Imagine your customer asks, "Does my competitor use this same solution? What are they paying for it?" Just as I would never share your information with your competitors, I can't share their information with you. The next technique is to deflect their question. There are two ways to deflect. 1. Answer a question with a question. 2. Answer a different question than they asked. Tap each technique to hear an example and learn more. Answering a question with a question gets them off track, deflecting your need to give them the information they asked for. Your customer asks, "What is your margin on a project like this?" You might respond to that question by asking, "Why is that so important to you?" Or, "Help me better understand how that impacts your buying decision." Answering a question with the answer to a different question directs the customer to a different point you want to make. Your customer asks, "What is your margin on a project like this?" We have a consistent pricing structure and are confident you're getting a very fair deal with the price we've presented. There are two ways for you to leverage information in your negotiations. The first is to provide information that creates a competitive advantage for you. The second is to share information when it's most advantageous to do so. Most salespeople want to tell the customer everything at the beginning of the sales process. The challenge with this approach is you have nothing left of value to provide at the end of the process. When you create your plan, identify the information the customer will want to know and when the best time to provide it during the negotiation. Use a swap if you're willing to give up information in order to get something in exchange. A swap is about protecting information and leveraging information at the right time. Tap the speaker to hear an example. Your customer asks, "What is your margin on a project like this?" A swap response could be, "I may be willing to share that information with you, but only if you're willing to share with me your budget numbers from inside your organization." Now that you understand the power of managing information, it's time to apply it to a customer. Think of a deal you're working on. List the key pieces of information you need to get. Next, list the information you anticipate you'll need to give. Lastly, identify when in the process it would be most advantageous to leverage the information we'll be asked to give. Tap Submit when you've finished. Remember, the way you manage information during a negotiation directly impacts the outcome. Prepare your plan to manage information in these three areas: information to uncover, information to protect, information to leverage.